This segment of Panther Sports Talk is brought to you by Lincoln Savings Bank. At home in Iowa, at work for you.
Welcome back to Panther Sports Talk. The UNI Panthers take third place in the Missouri Valley Conference this year, but the season has come to an end, so it's time to check in with Coach Jacobson and recap the year. And you knew, boy, it was going to be tough replacing that senior class that graduated in 2016. Talk about the leaders that emerged over the course of this season that helped lead the Panthers to that third place finish in the league.
Yeah, we were in a situation where not only replacing the leadership of Bo and and Wes and Paul, but also having a number of new guys. And so we were getting it kind of on both sides with 7 first-year guys new to the program, and then the 4 redshirt freshmen that, of course, had been here for a year but hadn't played a game. So we had a bunch of new guys and a bunch of young guys that hadn't been on the court yet. And then with the graduation of those 3 guys, the figuring out that part of it on the top end, and we had a much better feel for what was going to happen on that end of it. With Jeremy, with Clint, with Bennett, with Ted, with Wyatt, there were guys that had been in the program and played on the NCAA tournament team. So from a leadership standpoint, we knew what we were going to get, and I thought those guys did a terrific job of it. And adding Jordan Ashton as a senior, Jordan did a very good job as things went along. The first 4 or 5 weeks, there were some things that had to get worked out, and he did a nice job of taking care of some things, and then was able to, in a lot of ways, through his play, do some things from a leadership standpoint. So that part got taken care of, and then a bunch of young guys got a lot of experience.
Let's break down the non-conference portion of your schedule, and really the highlight to me was Orlando and how you were able to beat Arizona State, come from behind down 18 to knock off Oklahoma. A big win, a big tournament like that. Why was that important, especially with such a young, inexperienced team this year? Looking back on it now, to be able to play that way with all of the young guys is a little bit strange, really. That we played as well in those 3 games as we did the entire non-conference, and a lot of times with a number of new guys and a change in leadership, you may struggle early and build your way into playing better. But I give our guys a lot of credit for coming out of the gate and playing very well against Arizona State. Being able to come back and beat Oklahoma, who had been obviously had a great tournament run the year before, and then we were tied with Xavier at halftime and played that game for the most part down to the end. And then so for our guys to be able to do that with the number of young guys that were playing, and Jeremy being in a very different role, and Clinton Bennett, those guys as well. But it was a great way to start the season. And obviously we stumbled a little bit after that. So you go 0-5 to start league play, but why were you confident in the locker room at practice, seeing the guys that they'd find a way to turn this thing around, as they most certainly did in the month of February?
Yeah, I always expect that we're gonna do well and we're gonna get it figured out. But I can tell you, I wasn't as confident at 0-5 as I was the year before at 2-6, just because the year before we had the 3 seniors plus all the guys, Jeremy, Clint, Ben, the guys we're talking about now with this year's team. So there was a lot of guys, and we had already beat North Carolina, we had already beat Iowa State. They had already done it at the highest level. So it was just a matter of a small change here and there with that team 2 years ago. Now this past year, we weren't playing very well. So there were a number of things that we had to do a lot better, and we were having to do them without guys that had been on NCAA tournament teams, and that's a real challenge. And that's why I give Jeremy and go back to Jeremy and Jordan and Bennett, Ted, Clint, those guys. Those guys did an unbelievable job. It's one thing to lose a couple close games and not have a very good record to start the year, but it's another to not be playing very well. We couldn't stop anybody. We couldn't get a rebound. We weren't shooting the ball very well. I mean, to turn that around and win 9 out of 10 is extremely impressive, and very, very, just proud of Jeremy and Jordan and those guys for being able to get that done.
Panthers do win 9 out of 10. They take 3rd in the league and finish in the top half of the MVC for the 14th year in a row. That's the best out of all the Valley schools. Back with more Panther Sports Talk. Coach Jacobson right after this.